Game we like to call Drop the Mic. Mike Tannenbaum gives us 3 moves you'd like to see this offseason. All right, go ahead and drop yourself, Mike.
All right, Matt. First one, the Lions trade for Myles Garrett. Coming down the stretch, Detroit really had a lot of injuries, and they really struggled rushing the passer, even though they got Zadarius Smith, Aiden Hutchinson coming back. For Detroit to get to where they want to go, beat San Francisco, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Minnesota, they're going to have to be much more consistent and need more depth to rush the passer. Myles Garrett would be ideal, Matt.
Not a bad mic drop to start off with. You have another trade in mind. What's the other one?
Yeah, Chargers trade for Deebo Samuel right down the California highway. When you look at where the Chargers are, they hit on Ladd McConkey. Quentin Johnson really hasn't worked out. You go back a year ago, they moved on from Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. If Justin Herbert's going to get to where he can go, which I think is a superstar, they need somebody like Deebo Samuel who could run after the catch and be more productive in this pass.
Which, by the way, year one, Jim Harbaugh, really good start for his tenure there in Los Angeles. Give him another weapon. We'll see what that offense can do. And what do you like about this one?
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys signed Tee Higgins. What a stat from Hembo here. The best year, arguably, in Dak Prescott's career is when he had Amari Cooper as the number 2, 37 touchdown passes in 2021. Everyone is taking CeeDee Lamb away. Boy, if you could bookend him with Tee Higgins, that changes the entire complexion of this offense.
There are going to be so many suitors for Tee Higgins, and Dallas would absolutely be one of those, especially like you said a moment ago, CeeDee Lamb. He's kind of a one-man wolf pack out there. You need to pair him up with someone with Dallas, who they believe, Dak at least, that they're close. More on that later. Let's bring in Harry. Harry, your reaction to the mic drop of Tee Higgins in Dallas.
So I actually like that move. That's the true definition of Jerry Jones in 2024 saying all in. Now, we haven't seen that from Jerry. Does he have the kahunas to actually pull the strings and bring in a wide receiver that can be the 1B to CeeDee Lamb's 1A? That would be very, very good for Dak Prescott and also this offensive system. I still believe that they need to focus on the run game and become a balanced attack. But when you have 2 guys that can win one-on-one on the outside, it's going to be hell trying to stop that combo.
You see Jeff Darlington there. We'll get with him in a minute. We want to stick with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. He had this to say about the Super Bowl champion Eagles and how close his team is to catching up with the champs.
With the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we played them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the trophy right now. So credit to them. They've earned it and they deserved it by all means. But, yeah, very close, especially when you even watch the NFC game, the NFC Championship. And those two teams that we battle against each and every year a couple of times. And as I said, feel confident about we've gotten the better part each and every time. To see it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us.
All right, so gentlemen, not only did he go close, he went very close, Harry. So your thoughts on Dak saying they were very close?
See, that's what happens in Dallas, right? When you have an owner, Jerry Jones, who's consistently talking into the media, making headlines, you become delusional just by association and hanging around Jerry Jones. Because that's delusion, exactly what I'm hearing from Dak Prescott. Not the first part, but the last part, saying that they're very, very close. This is a football team, y'all, who was 27th in rushing and 29th in stopping the run. Why is that significant? Well, 2 teams in your division, the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles, they're 2nd and 3rd in running the football. So how are you close to them if you can't, number 1, A, stop the run, number 2, you're not balanced offensively, and you can't run the football? It makes no sense to me.
So, Darlington, do you agree or disagree with him being delusional in his comments?
I do not think he's delusional, and I'm not trying to be like just huge support for what Dak Prescott is saying. They have so far to go in terms of this offseason. What I will say is, like, I don't mind. I'm not so offended by these comments from the standpoint that 1 year ago, if you were to talk about a coach that's in question and a quarterback where we're wondering about his potential, we would point to the Philadelphia Eagles. You can come a very long way in a year. And again, what did the Eagles do? They signed Saquon Barkley. They did go all in. The Cowboys need to make moves like that. But if Jalen Hurts had said this exact same thing 1 year ago today, we would have been like, he's delusional. They just had an epic meltdown. There is no chance that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this coming season. And here we are. Teams can change. That is the beauty of the league. I don't find this to be offensive or, quite frankly, delusional. If not, maybe slightly whimsical.
The only thing that I would combat with that, is the Eagles. Go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, Jeff. Like, sometimes you got to throw away your rearview mirror. We're not talking about a year ago. We're talking about right now. And right now, the Washington Commanders are a better football team with a ton of cap space, right? With a ton of cap space. There's so much more that the Dallas Cowboys have to do. When you look at Diggy Zua, he's a free agent. DeMarcus Lawrence is a free agent. Zach Martin is a free agent. There's one running back that they did have that had a little bit of success, Rico Dotto. He's a free agent. You also, when you look at this Dallas Cowboys football team from a cap perspective, you're in the bottom half of the NFL. So there are a lot of components that comes to this football team being close to winning an NFL championship. And let me also add this, Jeff. January 1996 was the last time this team even been to an NFC championship game. The Washington Commanders, with a head coach that newly just came in, The Commanders, with a new quarterback and a new general manager, came in and made an NFC Championship game. But one thing we do know is that the general manager in Philadelphia and the general manager in Washington is way different from the general manager in Dallas.
Mike T, get in there.
Yeah, so look, I do think they're a lot closer to the bottom of the division than the top of the division. And Jeff, here's where I would push back. When you look at the economics of what we're talking about, Dak Prescott, who's going to be 32, been hurt two of the last 3 years, he's going to be, right now, his cap number is approaching $90 million. He's making $60 million a year. And then when you look at Jaden Daniels, he's at $9 million a year. So look, they'll reduce Dak Prescott's cap number, but there is a massive difference right now in the economics of those three quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is roughly at $20 million. So how, in my opinion, how is Dallas going to improve themselves when they just have to get their own house in order, where Jaden Daniels, to me, is younger, better, and roughly $50 million a year cheaper? So when we look at these three teams 6 months from now, I think you're going to see a discernible difference between where Washington and Dallas.
Well, and there's two parts, too. When we were saying this about the Eagles a year ago, there's two big differences there. One, the Eagles were just coming off a Super Bowl the year prior. They lose to the Chiefs. They made the playoffs, and that end of season collapse. The Cowboys haven't been close to sniffing that kind of success, regular season, offseason, postseason.
So, Dak looks at it, though. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Dak looks at it and says, in the past 2 years, when I'm playing in the game, a big if, because he has had injury issues, they're 3-1 against the Commanders and the Eagles in the last 2 years. So they are 1-3 when he is not playing in the game. No, hold on. We're talking about the Commanders. I was talking to Magic Johnson during one of their games in the playoffs this year when he said, I didn't think that we would get to this point as soon as we did. Washington did not expect the turnaround that they saw this year. The Eagles, we can talk about it, but we fired Nick Sirianni earlier this season. All I'm saying is, I hear you. I understand the uphill climb that the Cowboys have. I'm just saying within their own division, there are two examples of teams that flip the switch in 1 year's time. I don't think it is that egregious or delusional for the starting quarterback of the team to have that type of optimism.
Mike T, quick.
Yeah, all I would say is when you need a right guard, a right tackle who gave up 14 sacks, a running back who's a free agent, an interior defensive tackle, off the ball middle linebacker, where's all that coming from?
Yeah. By the way, Magic Johnson, Darlington, turn around and pick up that name you just dropped. It's literally, it's right behind your chest.
You know how it is. When it comes to the Cowboys, the media never misses a chance to blow things out of proportion. And this time, it's Dak Prescott at the center of the storm. It all started with a simple comment from Dak about the Eagles. But before you knew it, every sports show and headline turned it into some kind of massive controversy. Suddenly, they're making it seem like he disrespected Philly or said something outrageous. But did he really? Or is this just another case of the media twisting words to stir the pod and get clicks? Be honest. Do you think the media tends to exaggerate when it comes to the Cowboys? Drop your opinion in the comments. Let's settle this once and for all. And stick around, because up next we'll break down exactly what Dak said and why it wasn't the hot take the media wants you to believe. Alright, let's cut through the noise and get to the facts. What did Dak actually say? During an interview, Dak compared the Cowboys to the Eagles, making it clear that he believes Dallas can compete at their level. No trash talk, no bold guarantees, just a quarterback showing confidence in his team. But of course, that's not the headline the media ran with. Instead, they spun it as if he was taking shots at Philly. But let's be real. What's he supposed to say? That the Cowboys can't compete? Any leader would back his team. So now, I want your take. Do you think Dak's words were taken out of context? Or do you see it differently? Let me know in the comments. And stay with me, because next we're bringing in a Cowboys legend to set the record straight. When the media frenzy started, it didn't take long for a Cowboys legend to step in. Troy Aikman, someone who knows a thing or two about pressure in Dallas, didn't hold back. Aikman called out the sports media for twisting Dak's words just to create controversy. He pointed out how, in today's world, a simple statement can be turned into a headline that barely reflects the truth. According to him, Dak didn't say anything outrageous. He simply showed confidence in his team, which is exactly what a franchise quarterback should do. And let's be honest, if Jalen Hurts had said the same thing about the Eagles, would there have been this much outrage? Probably not. What do you think? Is Aikman right about the media twisting narratives? Or do you see it another way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Up next, can the Cowboys actually back up Dak's words on the field? Now, let's get to the real question. Was Dak actually wrong? Can the Cowboys truly compete with the Eagles? If we look at the matchups where Dak has been healthy, the answer isn't so simple. In the past few seasons, the Cowboys have gone toe-to-toe with Philadelphia, winning key games and proving they can keep up. Sure, the Eagles made a Super Bowl run, but Dallas has shown flashes of being just as dominant. The key difference? Consistency. The Cowboys have the talent, but they need to put it all together when it matters most. With a few adjustments, they can absolutely be in the same conversation as Philly. What do you think? Are the Cowboys already at the Eagles level, or is there still a gap? Vote in the comments. And coming up next, what are the biggest challenges standing in their way? Even though Troy Aikman believes the Cowboys can compete with the Eagles, he also pointed out a crucial reality. Philadelphia isn't their only concern. The NFC East is unpredictable. The Eagles will keep strengthening their roster, and the Commanders could take a big leap with smart offseason moves. Even the Giants, despite their struggles, remain a wild card. If Dallas wants to stay competitive, they can't afford to stand still. So what needs to change? The team has talent, but depth in key positions could make the difference. Whether it's reinforcing the offensive line, adding another weapon for Dak, or improving the secondary, every move matters. What do you think? Which position should the Cowboys focus on improving first? Drop your answer in the comments. And next, Troy Aikman's final verdict. Does he truly believe Dallas has what it takes? At the end of the day, Troy Aikman's message is clear. The Cowboys can compete with the Eagles, but only if they make the right moves. Confidence alone isn't enough. Dallas needs a smart offseason strategy to close the gap and solidify its place among the NFC's elite. Aikman isn't just defending Dak Prescott. He's pushing back against the constant negativity surrounding the team. He knows what it takes to win, and in his eyes, Dallas isn't far off. But will the front office make the necessary moves to turn potential into results? Now it's your turn. Do you agree with Aikman? Can the Cowboys truly go toe-to-toe with the Eagles next season? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest Cowboys updates.